A regular journaling practice boasts many mental and emotional health benefits, including improved mood and a better sense of overall well being, increased focus and efficiency, and more profound levels of self discovery. And these benefits definitely translate to your power exchange dynamic. So, if you want to foster radical growth in your power exchange dynamic this year, stay tuned today as I share the best submissive journaling prompts of 2023. If you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. I'm Miss LX and I'm so glad you're here because not only are we talking about a handful of the most impactful submissive journaling prompts today, but I've created a submissive transformation journal on Patreon with 30 days of mind-blowing discovery questions you can download and print and add to your daily routine. Just go over to patreon.com/lxerotica to get instant access. So before we get into these journaling prompts, why are we even talking about this? Why is submissive journaling so important in a DS dynamic? Well, for a few reasons. Journaling allows the submissive to slow down and process their thoughts and feelings, which can produce incredible degrees of mindfulness and the ability to emotionally regulate, which is incredibly important for submissives. Submissive journaling can also be incorporated as a daily ritual that helps the submissive stay grounded in their submission and feel connected to their dominant. Maintaining a consistent submissive journal can also provide the dominant with the specific data and insights they need to better lead and train their submissive. That's why, out of the 30 days of incredible journal prompts I have for you over on Patreon, I have chosen 10 of my favorites to discuss with you today. And although these are designed for submissives, I want you to know you're not alone as you dig into these, because some of these questions can be pretty deep and intense. And that's the point of these journaling prompts. So, I will answer these set of 10 questions with you today, not from a submissive perspective, but from my personal perspective as a femdom and a sexual bottom in reviewing my 2022. If you could choose a word, focus, or intention for yourself for the new year, what would it be and what made you choose that word, focus, or intention? My focus this year is intimacy, and more specifically, the fruit that is created within the intimate exchange. A deeper renewal, fresh love, new passion, profound innovation, all birthed from intimacy. That is my theme this year. If you could speak to yourself at the start of last year, what advice or encouragement would you give your former self? So I would probably tell myself in January 2022 that she is so amazing and she is so strong and she's about to do some badass work and take back territory she never thought was possible. That's what I would tell myself this time last year. I would also tell her that I'm so excited to grow with her, and that this year, by the end of this year, she wouldn't even recognize herself due to all the growth that's taken place. So yeah, I would definitely encourage myself with that, and that has been my year. And I am absolutely incredibly proud of myself for everything that I've accomplished this year in the business, mentally, emotionally, all of the above. So yes, great little pep talk for myself for sure. Have any of your limits changed or shifted this year? If so, list the biggest change and describe what caused the shift in desire or mentality. Yes, actually, one of my hard limits involved ravishment play or elements of CNC, but as I've gone through trauma therapy this year, the triggers that I once had surrounding ravishment play are pretty much gone. Now, I would say CNC, that's gonna still stay on my hard limit list, but to me, ravishment and CNC, there's a big difference, and those triggers surrounding ravishment and the intensity of that kind of play have really been processed, and I've begun to explore more of that type of play and have found so much pleasure in it in ways that I couldn't have even dreamt of before. So yeah, that's been a big shift. What is one mental health goal you have for yourself this year? Oh, now I'm not going to rush this. I'm not going to push this, and I'm going to finish this journey when I'm ready. But I would love to graduate from trauma therapy this year. And I think I'm on track to do that. My therapist keeps humming the graduation song every time we meet. So I think I'm on track to get there, but that would definitely be a really great accomplishment this year. In your opinion, what is the difference between being submissive and being passive? Is it possible to proactively wait? If so, what does that look like for you and your submission? So yeah, I definitely think that there is a big difference between passivity, being victimized, being submissive. Being submissive is incredibly powerful. Being passive is a victimized mentality, and it produces no fruit. When you're passive, when you feel like you're a victim, when you feel like you have nothing to offer, you don't do anything. You don't create movement. You don't create anything. And so you don't produce anything. So I see passivity and laziness kind of all in the same category. It's very disempowering. It's very victimized. But being submissive is not at all that way. Being submissive, that's an incredibly empowered mentality that produces incredible fruit of intimacy and connection. So yeah, I do believe it's possible to proactively wait on a dominant as a submissive. I don't think that's being passive, because I look at it as like a pregnant woman. When a pregnant woman knows that she's about to give birth in, 9 months or so, she's very active. She's very proactive in the waiting process. The mama-to-be doesn't just sit on her ass for 9 months. She's learning how to take care of the baby. She's buying supplies. She's buying furniture. She's decorating the baby's room. She's doing research. She's preparing herself to be a mother. And that's what I think active waiting looks like. It looks a lot like preparation, but not control. Who were the 3 most impactful people in your life this year? What was one lesson you learned from each of them? I would definitely say my therapist and 2 of my mentors, Bill and Chris. My therapist really helped change so many paradigms for me this year that it really is practically impossible to articulate all of the paradigm shifts and the growth that's taken place, but she definitely was very impactful to me. My mentor, Bill, lost his wife of over 40 years last fall. And as someone who cares about them both, that was very difficult, but to experience the degree of peace and joy and wisdom that this man was able to operate in even just a week after his wife's passing was one of the most incredible displays of authentic power I have ever seen. And it rocked my socks. So that was a huge one. Another mentor of mine, Chris, rocked my world this year with a life-changing perspective on the nature and expression of forgiveness that really allowed me to step into an incredible level of personal freedom and power in a way that I hadn't viewed before. So those 3, I would say, have been incredibly impactful for me this year. What is one career or vocational goal you have for yourself this year? I have a few. A lot of exciting things are brewing, and I cannot wait to share all of these plans with you this year. But I would love to publish a new book, and I'm actually in the process of working on that for you right now. What self-care practices benefited you the most last year, and why? So rest and pleasure were 2 huge self-care lessons that I embraced this year. Not even sexual pleasure, I'm pretty good in that regard, but mainly just pleasure, allowing myself to define what pleasure looks like and feels like for me day to day, and allow myself to pursue that pleasure and pursue that rest. One of the themes that I was working on tremendously this year was this this responsibility wound that I have to show up and be everyone's everything and answer everyone's everything all the time. And so really embracing rest and pleasure really had a profound impact on my healing this year and really accelerated everything for me this year. So don't underestimate the healing power of rest and pleasure. Did you try a new kink or activity this last year that you were once afraid to try? If so, how did you feel after you tried it despite your fears? What lesson did this experience teach you? So yes, actually, typically any sort of exhibitionism or public play has historically been on my hard limits list. But this year, I was gently pulled out of my comfort zone in a couple of play sessions to take my exhibitionism up a notch, and I enjoyed it far more than I imagined I would. And this really showed me that despite my concerns that that kind of play would trigger my hypervigilance or a trauma response, it was actually really liberating and empowering to go through that experience and to find the pleasure in it and to find the empowerment in it and to walk away from it with a completely different response than what I predicted for myself. So that was a very cool experience. List one curiosity or soft limit you would like to try or explore this year with your dominant. So a friend and occasional play partner has recently taken interest in shibari and suspension, and I'm so looking forward to exploring that play with them this year. But I want to hear from you. What is your one word, focus, or intention for this year? Comment below and let me know. And again, if you want access to my Submissive Transformation Journal with 30 days of mind-blowing discovery questions to add to your daily routine, just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access. And be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because next week I'm starting a brand new series where we are taking a deep dive into some of the most important key concepts in BDSM.